Simone, welcome to the Void. I'm here to share a timeless collective message with you. And let's just say, I feel like you're having to go with the flow right now. I feel like you're learning to really surrender this collective. I think that there are things that are being presented to you that are helpful, but you may even be questioning it like, should I allow this? Should I go with this? But I think that this is partially to, help start opening you up in some way. Um, I feel like we're just gonna get some cards. I didn't even get a channeled song. I didn't even think about it. Um, but I keep hearing, the chorus of love calls. I don't know if that's a related song or if that's something else, but I don't know. Anyway, angels, ancestors, spirit guides, higher beings of light and unconditional love, divine mother, divine father, Holy Spirit. What are the best and highest messages for this collective before the holiday? Again, this is a timeless message. So whenever you see this, I'm sure that there will be some messages in here for you. Again, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. And let's keep it pushing. Let's keep it pushing may even be something. It's like we're just gonna keep moving forward. It's like something out of the ordinary is happening. It's helping to open you up. You're surrendering to it, and you're moving forward. And I think you're moving forward with more ease. Some assistance is coming that you weren't expecting. I feel like this test energy, but it's not a bad one. It's not like maybe how you've interpreted other tests. And sometimes I feel, hesitant to use that word. Spirit just came out, the sun. So you're seeing something, or spirit is revealing something to you. This is also coming through as some kind of, I want to say glitch. It's like spirit is giving you a sign of something is shifting. Um, Something very out of the ordinary. It's an interesting energy. It feels like, it's like I don't know what to do with myself. But maybe you're not supposed to do anything. Again, you're kind of just surrendering. Yeah, Aries I am in the reverse, sixth house in the reverse. It's like, I don't know what to do with myself, literally. I don't know what to do right now. Maybe you're not supposed to do anything. you know, like, um, and maybe it's that easy. Maybe it can be that easy. What is spirit trying to show the collective? Aries I am in the reverse. That you're not alone. Spirit is helping you right now. Spirit is shifting things on your behalf. Mm. Saturn is showing you the truth. Saturn, and then Jupiter return benefits in the reverse, and eighth house endings and beginnings in the reverse. Hmm. And then desire on the bottom of the deck to help you to align with a desire or to recoup some energy. It feels like it's like you're getting time back or something like that. It's like, how you have a meeting and then it ends early and you're like, oh, that wasn't according to plan, but it's nice I get time back. It's like you're getting assistance from something, or maybe you thought that there was more to do, but there's actually less to do and you get time back. Um, Something is easier. The truth is that something is easier than you thought it would be. Maybe also with Jupiter return benefits, you thought that you would be able to, or you thought you would have to reconvene on something, but you're not, and you're getting your time back. Eighth house endings and beginnings in the reverse is like something is done and you get your time back. Interesting. Something is done and you get your time back. Maybe you were planning to put time aside for something again, like the I mean, I kinda just said that, like, you're planning to have multiple meetings or something like that where it's like, "Oh, I guess I don't have to anymore, so I get my time back." Or like, maybe you've invested a lot of time into something and it didn't yield the return, and instead of, like, trying to force that return, you're like, "I surrender and I get my time back, actually." I'm actually saving more time by not, um, aggressively pursuing something that it feels like it goes against your flow, you know? You're seeing the truth of something. We have the angel of Leo coming out. And it says, as adversity washes against us, we rise with those waves. Each moment in our lives, we are challenged by the world, we challenge it back. To be bold and in control is the nature of Verkiel, angel of Leo, the ruler. This sign brings with it the courage to bring shining light into a world that struggles against darkness. And this is clarifying spirit, the sun. I mean, that's double Leo energy. The angel of mysteries. And this is clarifying Aries I am in the reverse. And literally the angel of mysteries, like, I don't know if you can see this, but there's no words. So there's something about, again, like, it's not making sense, but you are surrendering to it. You're realizing that you don't really have to give to something, or this is not like, it's like, not my circus, not my monkeys type of thing. And you get I just feel like you're gaining some kind of energy back. Like you're like, okay, you know, it's a mystery. I think it's also odd to you because it may not be how you typically go about things. Um, there's also the angel mysteries. You see this card, he has his hand like this. So it's like something about, again, not giving too much, not saying anything, holding back in some way. And I guess with Aries in the reverse, not taking charge, not, um, you know, whatever. Angel of anger now is clarifying the truth. Hmm. His power was to fight with his heart. He took to the training ground every day, outlasting who joined him. The struggle was his fuel. He was a cruel teacher, but the results of his mentorship convinced people to tolerate him for a while. It wasn't the first death on the training ground that caused people to turn their backs on him, but there was something about the sight of that little girl's lifeless body. Interesting. It like trails off after that. It doesn't complete the story, but it says he was gifted with great strength, or was not gifted with great strength, stature, or wisdom, but his resolve was unshakable. His power was to fight with his heart. There's something that you feel very strongly about, or somebody else may feel very strongly about. It may relate to something related to an inner child wound, especially with that last line. But what really stands out to me is these lines: the struggle was his fuel, and he was a cruel teacher, but the results of his mentorship convinced people to tolerate him for a while. So, this may be a lesson that you are learning through. Um, the truth is that when you aggressively approach something, or say you had a goal, again, going back to like the metaphor of getting time back from meetings, or you know, proposing something and you have this whole plan mapped out, you're looking for your ROI, you're trying to complete something, something ends abruptly. You get your time back. But because you didn't get your ROI previously, you could have been very upset, but the anger is actually stemming from disappointment and a wound from the inner child. I think you're learning to surrender and actually address this particular wound rather than aggressively try to um, get something outside of yourself to get on the same page or to follow the plan. I think that you're surrendering something and you're not revisiting it. you know? And I think, let's see, with Jupiter return benefits, the angel of Aquarius, detachment. That's a very different energy than Jupiter, you know? Um, the angel of Aquarius, we take the experiences and emotions that have been given to us and pass them along, the good and the bad, the beauty and the pain. To enrich those around us, we sacrifice a piece of ourselves. So I feel like there's an experience that you can see both sides. Is like Aquarius can have a very detached, logical approach to things. And sometimes it can be difficult to process emotion. Because, and I say this from experience, having like my chart ruler is Mercury in Aquarius. And so although I can be quite emotional about things, I feel like there's a delayed reaction sometimes to like processing the emotion because I can understand it from a higher perspective. I can see why this happened. I can understand why this needed to happen from like a zoomed out perspective. I think though, you're not skipping steps in this. I think that you are addressing the actual root with the truth being revealed. But I think you're being able to merge both because you're also understanding again the theme of this is that you're getting your time back. You know, and I feel like there's something about not being too emotional about this, processing it properly, or maybe you've done this before, you've done this multiple times to where you understand the process. And it just feels like a detachment, you know? Yes, and then emanation of victory wanted to come out. And this is 8th house endings and beginnings in the reverse. Something is not transforming, something is actually ending, and that's exactly what was supposed to happen, what was supposed to go down, you know? And I think that you're learning, yes, the angel of the undoing and angel of silence. That's what I'm saying. You're like taking a very like, okay, I can accept this for what it is. I surrender to what this is. I can see it from different perspectives, but I'm not trying to um pursue this. But you're also not emotional about it. And you understand that if there is, I feel like in past situations, you would have aggressively approached this with the Aries card. You know, you would have made it about you as well, which could have turned into anger and disappointment and misunderstanding and all of these things. But I think because you're taking like you're detaching from the situation, I think that you can also view it's like you are getting access to review, like there's this meeting point of these past situations that may have been similar to this, whatever the situation is, and you're being able to see the pattern where you have held on to anger, resentment, disappointment, and how it has kept you in a loop. And with the Aquarius and something just, it's like a final ending, again, the undoing and the silence. It's like, again, a surrender and realizing that you're actually able to recoup your energy and use that energy to address the root of the situation, which is related to the inner child and why you would even hold on to the anger, the resentment in the past. If that makes sense. Yes, emanation of beauty and emanation of ruin, or the angel of ruin, I'm sorry. But the emanation of beauty, you're being able to find and like genuinely have gratitude for a situation and see the good and the bad, like the Aquarius was card was pointing out. It's like I can see both. I can take a detached approach. I can see how this situation was beautiful, but I can also see how it ended. And then as I move the ruin card, it says emanation of wisdom. Something about you graduated, you've like leveled up emotionally to where I don't know, something's just not bothering you like that. emanation of life and the angel of the unseen. I feel like you're also tapping into the potentials of your life, the things that you have not experienced yet. And I think there's something about you taking a dream, especially with that Aquarius card too, or your idea, you're kind of seeing that this is kind of like a stopping point, and you're taking your dream, or you're finding the courage to dream a new dream. Um because it says upon this firmament all things rest, a dream shared amongst all who dream. And then angel of the unseen. So it just feels like you're moving on to um different potentials. And then I see the angel of the written word and then the angel of Libra as well, which is like something is set in stone, and this is like balancing the karmic scales. I don't think that there's anything about this situation that feels unfair. If it feels emotionally triggering, it's because the inner child is trying to address a particular wound. But it feels like the situation feels complete. It very much is giving me, like, when I started to really feel into like justice Libra energy a couple of years ago. I thought about like how, from a higher perspective, if you were like watching children and they really want to play with this one doll, all of them want to. And so you take the doll away because there's too much commotion going on, and they all freak out, but not realizing that there's a whole toy basket of other dolls. It's like something is taken away, but it's to even something out. It feels like, um, when you tap into the frequency of abundance, like, there is no, like, again, it's like a child having a tantrum. The inner child is what is having the tantrum. Um, for me, though, it doesn't feel like this collective feels angry, because there's this energy of detachment and understanding and wisdom and moving forward, silence, kind of thing. But it feels like maybe someone else's anger revealed something to you. Yes, angel of the truth. You can see someone else's anger and you can accept or choose not to accept something about that. I feel like you are accepting something about that, but you're not accepting it as like true for your own life and your own story. You can see that somebody is upset, and you can acknowledge where that root is coming from and probably what they need to work on. But again, that feeling of like, not my circus, not my monkeys. Yeah, angel of time and deception and dreams and the written word, pride and sacrifices. This feels like breaking through a layer of the ego, whatever the situation is for you. It feels like it's helping you to break through a layer of the ego that has kept you in a particular loop in time. Um, and I feel like you're breaking free, which is kind of like why I was saying spirit is giving you like this thing that may have happened that is completely out of the ordinary is a sign actually that you are breaking a particular loop. And I think that's why you're kind of at peace with it as well, because it's like you're ready to move on to the next thing. I think that you've actually sorry, my foot is going to sleep. You've been ready to move on to the next thing. Even just how I did that is like my foot is going to sleep. I've been sitting in the same spot for quite a long time. Maybe longer than you're used to sitting in one particular spot, and it's like I'm going numb, or like I'm not feeling this, I'm not feeling anything. I'm feeling closed off to this. Um and I think that something shifted in your favor. Let's see. I kind of want to get a different tarot deck. Or let's actually go with the archetypes to better understand. We have the kiss. That can be about a relationship dynamic. The village. Oh, so this could be a relationship dynamic that feels very familiar. There's a tone of familiarity to it. And then the mother. Hmm. The mother, depending on how it shows up, but especially with the familiarity thing, you could have repeated a particular mother wound with someone, which is why this could make sense as to why there's so much turbulence or like that tantrum feeling that may come up um, with the inner child, you know? Or you can see how a situation was related to a wounded mother dynamic, you know? And I think that you're ready to be with the double Leo energy, um, very independent and on your own. And a particular situation mirrored that wounded mother dynamic. With Aries, I am in the reverse and mysteries. I think that it would be unknown. It is new for you to be completely independent, you know? Also, with the mother, though, it can be quite smothering. And so there could have been resistance to that dynamic. That could have been a sign. We have the siren that wanted to pop out. I feel like in the fault line. Yeah, there was definitely a ending of some kind. Okay. Gnosis. Interesting. We did talk about the heart and the mirror in reverse. I'm hearing this is no longer an accurate reflection. And we have the vision and the box. Yes, this is no longer an accurate reflection of myself. And there's something that you knew on a soul level, but I don't think it had come to fruition like in your consciousness yet, but it was felt like there was a divide in the dynamic and you could feel it, but you didn't know how to put words to it. And I don't know that you even have to put words to it because there's the silence and this detachment, you know? With the vision in the box, it's like what you were seeing was making you feel confined, like this was like you're only able to see a part of me. I'm only able to see a part of myself in this reflection. And there's a part of you that you you may be somebody that you know, like uses relationships on a soul level. I mean, doesn't everyone, but like really does, like really looks at people and relationship as a way to learn about themselves. And so you may have this pattern actually, or spirit may be revealing this pattern. This could be something that's true for you with the Saturn and the truth. That like once like you're moving out of a timeline, relationships seem to drop, you know? Um, because you're no longer embodying what you were embodying on that timeline, you know? Or you're growing out of this timeline. And people dropping like that could be a sign. There's something about being able to see outside of the box, but you cannot see outside of the box if you're looking in that mirror. So we have the ring that fell on the ground, which talks about commitment or loyalty, and then the seed, Kairos, and the prayer. This feels like something about again, like circling back to something, you're bringing your dream and you're gathering your things, you're gathering your dream and you're moving forward because there was a commitment that you agreed to bring something into fruition with spirit at a particular time in your life. With the commitment, the seed, Kairos is like a mythical time, and we did touch on time earlier. Time and deception. I think with this inaccurate reflection of the timeline, this person, I think what I've always said, and I still stand by, people are portals. And so that person could have been a portal to a particular timeline, and you could have not been able to see that this is a particular time for you to revisit something, revisit a dream that you prayed for, or commit to it. Yes, the dead end. And the vow. Yes, this is like you're realizing that you committed to something, that there was deception on that timeline. There's something that, like, your loyalty was leading to a dead end. There was something about, like, and when we have the mother and the shapeshifter. So you may, and the orphan is popping out. So this is definitely a wounded mother dynamic. It feels like to get you to integrate this fragmented mirror version of yourself, integrate the inner child that was attracted to that wounded inner child aspect of self that was attracted to this dynamic. Now that you have been doing that work, you are entering into a different timeline. So this particular dynamic no longer aligns with where you're going, who you're becoming, the womb, the one in the shadow. Interesting. And the shaman. Alchemizing something, some deep pain on the mother's side. I feel like there's a darkness that's related to the mother wound. This could be, again, like feeling deceived or feeling it's like a false sense of support or a false sense of security within a dynamic. But there is like this blind loyalty that you've learned through your mother dynamic that no matter how dark it could be or is, um, or how unsatisfying it was for you at different times, or how draining it could be, or whatever, that you are required to show up in a particular way. And that could be patterning because there's a fear of being abandoned. And I think in one of these other readings I just did, I was talking about that, like, kind of, I think that you are realizing through this healing work currently that there is the fear of abandonment is an illusion. One, I think spirit showed up very strongly here in the way that they're reminding you that you're not alone, but also like when you graduate from pedestalizing your parents from the inner child point of view, and realizing that they're just human beings as well, and like they're wounded as well, and they're not the divine mother and father. They have the ability to connect with that within themselves, but if they have not done that work and they're showing up and they're wounding, um you are on your own individual path to address your own wounding. You cannot clear somebody else's karma for them. No matter if they're your family, your friends, whatever. And it feels like this dynamic that you may have been in reflected, like, from the inner child perspective, there was a loyalty to this dynamic due to the wounding related to the mother. And I feel like you're going in, there's an understanding as to why this happened. I think that you've gone through this cycle enough times now in different ways in your life that there's an understanding without needing it to be emotional. But there's also a moving through and releasing something from the womb and allowing yourself to integrate. And through that, this is a process that you've been actually going through, it feels like, for a while now. And so now the glitch in the timeline or the something ordinary, unordinary taking place or out of the ordinary taking place is a signal that you are, in fact, clearing this. Yes, the hunter. Right in time for what feels like, um, right in time for what it feels like the 2026. Godly. It's like the dramatic pause, that was kind of what this feels like between now and 2026 is a dramatic pause. The realigning and the dramatic pause is like, where's spirit realigning me to now, Um, where am I realigning myself to now? Picking those things, choosing those things with discernment, being intentional, But it feels like without the blueprint of this wounding. So where does that leave you? You know? Where does that leave you? The healer. The healer of the ages is what I'm hearing. The healer and the kiss. Healing the relationship dynamic, healing the relationship blueprint that may have gone past just love and relationships. It could have been friendships. It could have been like work relationships, like who you attract in your life on an energetic level, on a people level, because people are just like energetic beings, right? Interesting. We have the father now, the mother and the father. The father and the mystic. It's coming through, yeah, the judge. It's coming through that there were downloads that you were receiving from the masculine side of your ancestry with the father and the mystic and the sustainer and the judge. It feels like intuitive hits that you were receiving about a particular situation, or there was something that happened like in divine time, or like, again, something out of the ordinary. And it's from someone on your father's side of your um, ancestry that helped to rearrange things in your reality, if that makes sense. Yeah. The empty room, potential. They cleared something out. It's interesting because we have like now these very like black and white cards to the judge, the father. Something is very black and white. It's easy to see through something being cleared out. And I feel like it's interesting because there was something that was blocking your intuition, and now it feels like it's removed. Something was like in the way, you know? And when it's removed, you're able to see something black and white, very clear, again, detached. It's not emotional. It's very like, it's logical, but also intuitive, because it's like you're not using your intuition in a way to fill in the blanks now, because filling in the blanks, we just went into this in one of my last, not my last live, but last posted audio reading. I think it's called The Wisdom of Not Knowing. It's realizing that The best use of your intuition and your mind is not to fill in the blanks of stories that you do not have the full story to. That is like coming from a wounded part of the inner child, trying to justify the behavior of others, and why it hurt you and why you shouldn't be bothered by it and all these things so that you can try to cope with whatever wrongdoing has happened. Instead, you're surrendering and you're letting this block be removed, and now you have this empty room which is full of potential, and it's like you can now, going back to like that mythical time card, something about again, you get your time back, you have your room back, you have your space back, you have your mind back, like something you felt like it was penetrating or like taking up, it was just felt like it's too much. Yeah, the siren is like overwhelming, like pulling you down in some way. The bardo and the lover. Interesting. The bardo is popping out in the bridge. Whatever situation this was for you, it's like through this ending, through this death, you are able to see and you're able to bridge the gap between you and your inner child, which brings you more into your self love. I really feel like this has to do with, um, I think that there's a part of you that was not fully comfortable with showing up as in your fullness. And again, this could have been related to that template that we're talking about, the old template, where you had to participate in dynamics and kind of make yourself small and all of these things. And now it's like with the king and the mask underneath it, it's like I think that you have removed even your own mask and you're completely fine with like leading something yourself, you know? And we have the starborn. Interesting. The warrior. The thing is, you've been through many things. You've been through many things already. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm like, okay, like, I feel like this isn't your first rodeo, you know? We're gonna get some tarot. The Three of Cups and the Five of Cups. Yes, this could have been a breakup of some of sorts. The Seven of Cups. It could have been very confusing. Again, something just happening out of the blue caused confusion. The Four of Cups, the Spirit is saying, was it really confusing though? You know? Or have you been ignoring nudges about this? Only you can answer that. We have the Knight of Wands. And the Hangman in reverse. Yes, it's like you are regaining some energy that you didn't even realize was blocked or that you didn't even realize was, yeah, it was like blocking your third eye with the Hangman as a Pisces card. It's like you finally have freed yourself. It feels like also playing small because the Pisces card can also lead to, it can relate or touch on martyrdom and like victim mentality. And it's like, I think that you had, through the patterning, through that blueprint, you had learned to play that role. But then there's some kind of reveal where you're like, actually, I don't want to do that. Actually, I want to completely do something about myself. Actually, I'm fine on my own. Actually, and it's like, I think you weren't even paying attention to that, or you didn't even realize how you're putting yourself on pause in some way. And then we have the Knight of Wands, and it's like right in time. It feels like right in time for that horse year. Was it the fire horse? Knight of Wands, the fire horse. Right in time for 2026. It's like in a nick of time. Something happens for you. Queen of Swords in reverse. And the Two of Swords. Three swords. It is something related to It could heartbreak with the Ten of Swords. Again, feeling like confused about why there's silence or why you're being overlooked, or, you could have taken this. This is what the situation is presenting. But I don't think that you're taking it that way. I think that you're like, oh, actually, through this, I'm surrendering to it. I'm detaching from it and I get my time back. I get my time back and I'm free. And actually, I changed my mind. You know what I'm saying? Actually, I'm not even joking. Ten of Swords, the Fool. Actually, I'm free. Actually, I see this for what it was and I'm making a judgment call myself to get out of hermit mode, to get out of this situation that was related to a lot of patterning and wounding that wasn't being addressed. It was being swept under the rug for whatever reason. The Four of Cups. The truth is, the truth, that Saturn card, the illumination, what Spirit is revealing, I think through removing and through you just observing and not being reactive to it, I feel like with the detachment that you've had, like the emotional maturity that it had to happen at this time in this way because you are emotionally at a level where you can handle this? And so it's like you weren't reactive, you just observed. And I think that you observed that you felt better, the Fool, Judgment. And the more that you stop worrying about why there was silence, why you're being overlooked, how this triggered some kind of like abandonment feeling for you. Why would they do that? Freeing yourself from they did this to me. I think that you stop worrying about the other person's perspective or trying to figure out, again, fill in the blanks. I think that you surrendered and you actually thought about how does this make me feel right now? Do I actually feel bad? Because I think that there's been different opportunities for you to see, or there have been missed opportunities even for you to see that something wasn't as it seemed. The Six of Wands. I think Spirit wanted you to see your greatness on your own. And I think that you weren't seeing that due to whatever situation you were involved in. With all the ground. The Page of Pentacles. And the Star. And the Nine of Swords in reverse. And the Six of Pentacles. With the Hermit also in reverse, it's like, I think I am ready to step out on my own. That's what it kind of feels like. It just kind of feels like, oh, I got my time back. I think I am going to start that thing then. I think I am going to, this is also like something is healing for the inner child, not in just the way of you addressing the wound, the root, but it feels like it relieves some kind of anxiety around being seen. There could have been something about, there was an unspoken agreement around not being as big or being seen, or yeah, there's something about taking on another person's, yeah, the Tower. Taking on another person's like internal foundation. Like you may have taken on somebody else's burdens and that's not your inner foundation actually. That's not your blueprint, you know? Um there may have been mirroring in areas that needed to be healed, but it feels like with the Tower, it feels like a good tower. Tower, the Five of Pentacles, and the Queen of Pentacles. That's what I'm saying. And the Queen of Cups. The 6 of Cups in reverse, and the 2 of Wands. Through a decision, it could have been interpreted depending on how you move through this situation. If you're reactive or if you're not, if you observe, if you detach, if you don't, if you decide to get angry, if you don't. Again, it's something about this time is about it's happening at this time because of your emotional maturity and being able to detach from being reactive to this tower falling, because the tower falling is actually rooted in scarcity. It's actually rooted in fear of abandonment. It's actually rooted in rejection, like fear of rejection. And really, you have this internal foundation with the Queen of Pentacles that is very stable. It's very opposite of Five of Pentacles, you know? Um, Again, it feels like a good tower. It's like you actually feel weightless. Whereas this energy, when you're operating in the Five of Pentacles scarcity, if you're clinging on to something, you're actually holding on to, like, if we're talking about like the body, you're holding on to weight versus like the Queen of Pentacles. She knows that she can feed herself. She knows that she can, it's like when they say when you're going on a diet, like you should eat the same or you should eat at certain times of the day. It's like the body realizing that there's enough. It's not like holding on to things if you're like trying to lose weight in the way of like, um, starving yourself or something. It actually holds on to the weight. It feels like you feel weightless when you let something go. When you let something go and you realize that there's enough to continue to supply yourself, you know? Um, yeah, the Eight of Swords in reverse, you freed yourself from something, and Two of Cups in reverse, freed yourself of like, it feels like you freed yourself of the fear of losing relationships, but this could be showing up in a particular relationship. But also, I split the deck too. I forgot. I just forgot. I left my mind. But it's not just this relationship, it's the timeline where you're afraid of being alone. It's the timeline where you're holding on to things too tightly. It's the timeline of scarcity. It's the timeline of playing small. It's the timeline of not taking up space because you don't want to lose somebody else, or you're not taking up the space that you actually need. You're not taking up the time that you actually need. You're not pouring into yourself adequately because you have another person or people in your life that you're holding on to so tightly due to this fear of rejection, fear of abandonment, mother wounds, whatever, however it's showing up for you. We have now the Three of Wands, the Page of Cups, and the King of Pentacles in reverse. Hold on, let me tune into this real quick. I think that this is something that this collective has always knew, the higher self always knew that you would have to be on your own. It's like the intuition was always kind of giving you the nudge of being off on your own. With the King of Pentacles in reverse, I feel like there's something about people perceiving you to be greedy. Actually, they're bringing me to this example. I was in the Nine of Cups. You're going to have to be able to put your needs first. With the King of Pentacles in reverse, I feel like, and the paired with the Page of Cups, there could be a misinterpretation and emotional immaturity when it comes to like how people view you from the outside looking in. It could be that they look at you as greedy, or that you are very self-serving with the Nine of Cups. But I feel like Spirit is giving you full permission with the Ten of Pentacles to be on that, you know? And I feel like you always knew that you needed to be on that, but again, due to this patterning, you kind of didn't want to be on that because you n- you were afraid of triggering that inner child part of you, so you're holding on to things that you didn't need to be holding on to. But they were bringing me to this example of, this guy in the sauna today. He just would not shut the fuck up, I swear. And he was talking like it was I was just like, "Why are you talking about this?" Like, I literally there's a bunch of people in the sauna, and, there's, like, an older man, and it sounded like he was talking about his son. And he was talking about how his son has these different businesses, and he has money tied up in different businesses, and he's so successful, but he's so greedy, and he won't even buy us, he won't even get our brakes changed or whatever. And he says that he has money tied up in these things and blah blah blah. And he said that he's set up rule for himself that he won't be giving out anything into anyone until he reaches this particular goal. And I'm over here listening, and I'm like, he sounds like a hater. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just the way that he was talking about the things, and how he was like, "I know that he has enough," and all these things. And it's like, you don't know what this person is feeling called to do or what they're feeling called to build. You don't know their motivations, their intentions. And also, it was just kind of like what I was hearing with between what he was saying was that, to me, I was just hearing that there's more to that dynamic than what he's explaining. Not making any assumptions about the dynamic, but there's definitely more to it than the way that he's painting the picture, you know? Um, and so I feel like there's a nudge, yes, with the Empress. You are being called to really get into a mode of this she understands surrender. She knows when to invest. She's open to receiving. I think also, um, there's like it's like something is flowing. And this is very different than the energy of holding on to something. The Empress understands like energetic flow, you know? And so this is also very much related to the mother wound, but it's upright. And so you have addressed or are addressing some particular mother wound that has held you back from being in your Empress energy. But it feels like you're addressing this. And the way that I even put the card down, the Empress is right next to that Page of Pentacles, and it's like mothering that inner child, you know? Yeah. 8 of Cups. Can't even make it up. 8 of Cups, 10 of Pentacles. You're walking away from something and you're moving towards the 10 of Pentacles. You're taking your dream, you're taking your idea, and you're moving on, you know? You're surrendering. 10 of Wands in reverse, you're releasing a burden. Nothing has to be explained to you. You've understood the assignment. You need to surrender. Bring yourself back to center with the Temperance in reverse. Things are being balanced out. All you need to do is address your inner child. Knight of Pentacles in reverse. This is a minor slowdown, a minor block. This is an energetic block on the path towards the 10 of Pentacles that you could not see because of the weight of holding on to something. And it's also like both the High Priestess in reverse and the Nine of Pentacles in reverse, you are now seeing where that codependency has held you back. It's like I'm hearing that song Bag Lady by Erica Badu, you know? You didn't even realize you were carrying this whole like load with you. Bag away. Death card. So something has ended. And the Ace of Swords, the Four of Pentacles, and the Strength. I feel like that's such a clear message, you know? It just feels very clear cut, you know? There's something that's not you're not holding on to. With the strength card, you having the strength to actually hold on to what you need to hold on to and let go of what needs to be let go of, you know? And I feel like you're realizing there's a lot of clarity. I just got the deck to the 7 of Swords in reverse, the 7 of Cups in reverse, the Page of Swords in reverse. There's something about, like, you not needing clarity, you not even being curious about the situation, you're not asking anything. I feel like could be guided not to ask anything. I think that this act of surrender is really gonna help you with also bringing in things as well. Because I think that when you tried to bring things in previously, you could have been so obsessed with getting that thing. I think it'll allow you to manage multiple things as well, like know when to put something down. I feel like you'll know when to pick something up and know when to put something down, you know? Because I feels like if you tried to manage multiple things, but you always felt like you had to keep an eye on this thing or you had to give this thing so much attention or you had to, it's like you couldn't really manage multiple things. And this could even be showing up like in the way of relationship too. Like if you were someone that like would give your all to one thing, like you didn't have a good balance within other relationships, like having different friends or having a relationship, like a romantic relationship, and also maintaining your friendships. It just feels like you're going to understand when to put something down. Yeah, the magician. This is helping you in creating something. I also feel like your higher self manifested this particular ending in this way in order to help you. It's like doing something twofold, you know? The King of Swords in the challenge, and then the Knight of Swords on the bottom of the deck. 3 of Swords in reverse and the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. The King of Cups in reverse. Someone, or you may, I feel like it's encouraged to wield the truth right now. There's something about wielding the truth, um, creating with the truth, moving with the truth, which is, I think, revealing like a deeper pattern, right? But being detached from the pattern to where you can actually like not be too emotional about it with the King of Cups in reverse, the 3 of Cups in reverse, and the Ace of Cups. Oops, in reverse, and the 6 of Swords in reverse. If you become too emotional, you could sink into the depths of the emotion. Whereas when you take this more logical truth approach where you can detach, I think that this is like leaning into healthy air, with the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. It's like you can acknowledge that something was a missed opportunity. You can acknowledge that something didn't come to its full fruition, and you can also see how, while this like sudden break in a relationship, it also identifies to you that you're entering in a new timeline. Yes, it kind of sucks that it happens this way. I get the feeling that this doesn't happen. This isn't the first time that this has happened. You know what I'm saying? And it's like I think that you're able to take a much more logical, detached approach, a higher perspective approach, and this is helping you to move forward and pour into yourself in the spaces that you really need to, um in order to not like leave that void open again. This is the void. Yes, we have a 5 of swords, and the page of wands, a 2 of wands, the moon in reverse, and the justice card. I'm seeing with the 5 of swords and the page of wands, there could be 2 people that are like, "Who did it? Who did it? Who cast the first stone? Who hit me first?" You know what I'm saying? Like, "You hit me first. No, you hit me first." It could go that petty. It could get that petty if you don't take this higher level perspective. If you allow the inner child to get involved in a way of throwing a tantrum with the page of wands and the 5 of swords, it's like there's going to be a lot of like mental back and forth about like, and it's coming from an angry place that is related to the wounding. When really, in reality, with the 2 of wands, I'm interpreting this as 2 people had 2 wands. 2 people participated in this thing. 2 people, it is not something that's this person versus this person. With the moon in reverse and justice, something is fair. It's giving me going back to that example of like the little kids that are fighting over a toy, or fighting over a particular thing. And then the universe comes and's like, you guys are both being participating in this thing not good, or whatever. And so we're going to take this away. And there's a bunch of other shit that you could be playing with right now. And they let you go figure it out. And you kind of have to surrender to the fact that something was removed from your life. And it's because justice, something is karmic and being cleared out, you know? So, let's see. Anything else? I did see the 4 of wands. It fell way over there. Way over there. You could feel like, with that going way over there, you could feel like, with the Queen of Cups, you could feel like you kinda just wanna be left alone. You could feel like you just kinda wanna be in your bubble. I cut the deck to the Queen of Cups again. You just wanna kinda be in your own bubble. And when I said like that, you're way over there. It's like I actually am kind of enjoying just being with the 4 of wands. It came up upright, way over there. The Queen of Cups. You kind of just want to take care of yourself. You kind of want to just be in your own bubble. You want to be in your own healing energy. You want to be in your own home. You don't want to be bothered. You know, um, yeah. The Chariot in reverse, the Knight of Cups in reverse. You're not really open to anybody right now. Like you're not really open to connecting with people like that. You kind of just need to recoup. Yeah, with the Ace of Wands in reverse and the 7 of Cups in reverse, you're realizing like you're not in a place of like taking action. You're just kind of like recouping your energy. And like I said, you're getting your time back and you're like, okay, I should be using this time for a little bit of self care, a little moment to connect with myself. Um, this feels like obviously like we're talking about a break in relationship. So, um, yeah, I feel like Spirit is telling you to take this opportunity to reclaim your time, reclaim your time, reclaim your time. The devil in reverse, you're freeing yourself from something. Um, Also don't feel like you need to rush something or that you need to work a lot. Don't let fear come in when it comes to like taking your time for yourself right now. Like give yourself the time that you need. Um, yeah, because I do think that you are moving through something. We have the Emperor that wanted to come out a few times, and the King of Wands. You'll know when you feel up to par again. Something about a Leo moon coming through, like, a timing. There's something about timing with the 4 of swords. You're, like, recouping your energy, and you'll be ready to take action around, it feels like a Leo moon. So that might be coming up in Aquarius season, which is usually what, January, beginning of February? You're gonna take action, you're gonna pop out on after a period of rest. You're gonna take, like, aligned action, inspired action. Yeah, the strength card, that's, like, triple that Leo energy, double Leo energy here, but in between that, it's rest and knowing when to strategically act on something, to take a courageous step. And then we have the Eight of Wands. Yeah. Four Pentacles and the Lovers. Interesting. Yeah, recoup your time, recoup your energy. Temperance in reverse, you're in the process of alchemizing something. You're in the process of like healing something, closing something out. Um, yeah. This will be interesting. If this is resonating, I would love to hear in what is that? Like 1 to 2 months. And with temperance here, it's like two cups. Cups can be months, I believe. Yeah, I would say 1 to 2 months. Yeah, with the Seven of Cups in reverse, I don't feel like I'm confused, like, that's the message. Page of Swords in reverse, the Hermit in reverse, and the Four of Pentacles. They're saying that there's something being integrated right now that you're learning about yourself and about your patterning, about holding on to things. And it doesn't a lot of it has to do with programming about what you thought loyalty was. But really, I think loyalty stems from like a higher frequency of loyalty with all this Leo energy, comes from being committed to your path, committed to ascending in consciousness, committed to becoming the best version of yourself. And so, yeah, I feel like your definition of loyalty is even changing. You're loyal to yourself. And I think that whatever programming around loyalty that you may have had was actually it's like a swap, something that was your understanding of that was like swapped out with scarcity, like holding on to something. Loyalty does not mean that you hold on to something at the detriment of yourself. Wheel of Fortune, the wheel is turning in your favor. Also, as I'm saying, this feels like time. This feels like a change in the timeline. And the Six of Cups in reverse, letting go of a past timeline. And I feel like it'll be complete, like things will click into place. You might notice other odd things between now and 2 months from when you're seeing this. Or, I gave a very specific timeline, because of when I'm filming this, but it's a timeless message. It could be 2 months from whenever you're seeing this, but I'm thinking about the Leo. It might be like a Leo. Is it a full moon in Aquarius season? Yeah. Um, that is a time. The Queen of Wands. Another fire sign card. Yeah. That's gonna be an important time. I don't know what's coming in for you, but it's for you specifically. It's very much for you. Ace of Cups, but they're saying that you need to pour into yourself. It's like you need to build up your light body, not by doing something, but by yeah, they're asking you to like just pour into yourself. This could even be connecting with spirit, asking them to pour into you between now, like come up with like a daily routine because I see the Eight of Pentacles is something that you do daily. Yeah, and be open to receiving that because you're gonna be showing up very differently by the time that moon cycle shows itself. Or that's how you're gonna be feeling. You're ready to show yourself. The Devil in Reverse. Wow. Interesting. Okay. I think that's all I have for you. I'm getting tired. Um, but I hope that this helps. If you're interested in a personal reading, if you're subscribed to the Void newsletter here on Substack, or this will be posted on YouTube automatically as well. If you're subscribed, you're already considered to be on the wait list for personal readings. I only open those up as I feel called to. And when they are opened up for appointments, and the list is open for appointment, you'll just get an email from me. If you're on the you're subscribed, okay? Otherwise, thank you for being here with me. Thank you for sharing your time and energy with me. And I hope that you have a beautiful, blessed day, evening, whenever you see this.